Aloha, this is Pete Jalbert of the Maui Real Estate Team. I am checking in today with our market outlook for Paia for the second half of 2013. Paia has followed overall trends on the island with a general improvement in market conditions that started during the second half of 2012 and continued through the first half of 2013. The limited inventory of homes available combined with strong demand to really boost prices in some neighborhoods of Paia. Rates of appreciation in those neighborhoods exceeded many areas of the island. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the Paia market during the second half of 2013. Will we see other neighborhoods in Paia surge in pricing? Will demand slack off from the frenzy of the last 12 months? These are good questions, and I can't claim to have definitive answers. That being said, there are three factors that I see impacting the Paia market throughout the second half of the year. The first is short-term supply. The second is long-term supply. And the third are interest rates. On the short-term supply side, inventories are likely to remain limited under $1 million unless more sellers are enticed to join the market. That is a possibility based on some of the appreciation that we have seen in the community. The price appreciation has created some better equity positions for some sellers so they could go on the market. If inventories do remain constrained, the lack of inventory is likely to mean less sales activity than what we saw during the second half of 2012 and even potentially the first half of 2013. On the high end, the dynamics are a little different. In the $1 million to $2 million range, there are options available, but much of the inventory has been out on the market for a while. There are buyers in this range, but it doesn't appear that they can come to terms with the sellers in this range. We're going to need to see some price adjustments or increased demand for these properties to start moving. When you get above $2 million in the Paia area, it is typical to expect longer market cycles for properties. Absolute comparable sales become less of a factor in the ultra-luxury market. It takes a meeting of the minds between what a seller is willing to sell for and what a buyer is willing to pay. That may sound trite, but it tends to be the case with ultra-luxury properties. I know there are buyers who have been looking at some of these higher-priced properties. It'll be interesting to see if any deals are put together during the second half of the year. I believe long-term supply may become a factor with some buyers' purchase decisions. Paia as a community is not adding any significant housing inventory. There have been a few luxury homes built in Sprecklesville over the last few years, but that is about the extent of new construction. There have been no new developments and few, if any, homes built at the entry or mid-levels of the market. The area is hemmed in by cane fields, and there are no plans for new development in the immediate future. Meanwhile, Paia is continuing to grow in visibility as both a second home location and as a place popular for primary residences. Recent mention in the New York Times and Sunset Magazine have helped draw attention to the community. Growing demand and limited supply will likely result in long-term upward price pressure. The last factor I mentioned for the second half of the year is interest rates. Island-wide, we appear to be seeing the market taper off some after the frenzied start of the year. The slower pace of properties going under contract appears in part to be dictated by the higher interest rates. It'll be interesting to see if that cools things off at all in Paia. In the first half of the year, most of the sales were financed. That being said, even potential cash buyers were taking advantage of some of the low rates on offer. I would think the interest rate increase has the potential to at least slow down some of the rates of appreciation that we have seen at the entry and middle parts of the market. The Skill Village market will be a good litmus test, as there are a couple of nice properties with peak market pricing listed. It will say something if the sellers can pull off those higher prices with higher interest rates. That about wraps up our Paia real estate market outlook for the second half of 2013. Feel free to comment in the comments with any questions. Aloha.